Hello everyone, thanks so much for being here with me today for this reading all about how things are getting better in your life, what blessings are coming, how things are improving, because guess what? Surprise, surprise, things aren't gonna stay the same. The winds of change are on their way, is what I'm trying to say, and things are going to be improving in your life. I have 3 piles for you to choose from. I will leave the options here on the screen. Of course, timestamps and all other information is going to be linked in the description down below. I'll see you at your pile, guys. Bye! Hello, Pile 1. Thanks so much for being here with me today for your reading all about the healing that is happening now and how things are getting better. I have a very strong visual, and first I just want to say the color orange is very prominent in this pile, and that is associated with the sacral chakra. So I'm going to be talking about the sacral chakra a lot, and if you are a little unaware of what the sacral chakra is, I'm just gonna go to Google and just kind of get the general census. It governs emotion, creativity, pleasure, sexuality, intimacy, promotes joy, emotional stability, and adaptability. And the blocks are guilt, shame, trauma, and emotional instability. I just felt like that would be relevant later on in the reading while we're talking about this, so I figured let's talk about it. However, let's actually talk about the visual that I'm receiving with this reading. You have been on a long journey, and how it's being presented to me, it's a very solo journey. And I see you holding a flame in your hands, and you're having to carry this flame very gently through the mountains, through wind, through snow, and of course there have been good times, but it's just really hammering home that you've had to protect this flame. And it feels like a passion, something you're passionate about, something that you believe in, something that allows you to create. This could be some sort of artistry or a skill that you'd really like to turn into a full-time thing. It does feel heavily tied to creativity, and it's also something that makes you feel good while you're doing it. You get energy back from this thing. It's something really important to you. Okay, moving on. All this rain, all this snow, the wind trying to blow out the flame, all these treacherous conditions that I see you walking through with this flame, I'm seeing those conditions as outward voices or actual physical people in your life who maybe don't support, they don't see the vision, they don't understand, they don't get it, and they haven't been the most supportive ear in your life. Or anytime you bring up this certain passion, they are quick to change the subject, or you can just tell they don't really care. And so you've kind of learned, okay, I'm not receiving support from those I love about this thing, but it's something I cherish. So I have to fight to keep this alive, because if I let it dwindle out, then I'm losing my passion, I'm losing my creativity, I'm losing all the benefits that it gives me. And this is something that makes me me. And I can tell, like, this is hurtful. This is hurtful to have all these outside voices, or to feel so alone in something that brings so much light. It's incredibly frustrating, I can tell. And it's disappointing too, because it's like, maybe this doesn't have to be close people, but maybe you've had people even make fun of it, or tell you that it's worthless, or tell you that it's not going anywhere. And that's hurtful. Especially, we can so easy as creative people, we can see our creations, our art as an extension of ourselves. It's an expression of how we feel, see, and experience life. And to have other voices kind of trash on that or instill doubt inside of you around that, it's confusing, it's frustrating, and yeah, I understand why you're wanting to protect this and keep this sacred. I do think it's representative. That's not the right word. I do think it is important how the visual is being presented to me of you walking through all of these conditions. Instead of just sitting there and being pummeled by the conditions, I see you continuing your walk and keeping your sole focus on keeping the flame alive. So you're walking somewhere. You're walking out of this energy. However, I think because you've been on this journey for a very long time, I see the fire kind of going out. It's not dead. It's not like you're giving up, but your being is getting tired. It's like, okay, universe, I need something right now. I either need a wheelbarrow that I can just stick wood in there to keep the fire alive, to give my arms break, or to give my arms a break. Sorry, I didn't use the full words. Or I need like friends around me that I can share this with, that I can share this passion with, to help me release some of this tension, to help me believe in something. And you know, something I'm hearing right now, if you know Hadestown, the Doubt Comes In song, it's kind of like you're experiencing a Doubt Comes In song. And I have a couple lyrics from that I want to talk about. Orpheus can't hear Eurydice, but she's behind him the entire time saying, Orpheus, are you listening? I'm right here, and I will be till the end. And the coldest night of the darkest year, maybe I got those lyrics reversed, comes right before the spring. And all while she's singing this, he's going, who do I think I am? Why am I all alone? Who am I to think that she would follow me? Can I really do this, you know? And I'm seeing Eurydice as this finish line of sorts. And this isn't going to pan out like an Orpheus and Eurydice sort of situation. This is just how my brain talks. I talk through musicals. Sorry, I share where I have my altar set up to do, side note, where I have my altar set up to do these readings is right against the window. And my window looks into my neighbor 5 feet away from me, who has the exact same width and height windows, and it's her kitchen. And she's doing dishes while I'm doing tarot readings. So I feel a little awkward, but she's seen me here many times. So there's a finish line, and there's a crowd of people with signs, and it's like, welcome home, it's you did it, congratulations, it's this whole welcome party. And they're waiting for you to arrive with this flame. And they're Eurydice. We're right here. We've always been here. We knew you could do it. You're so close. The spring is almost here. And now I'm going to get emotional, and my neighbor's going to see me cry. And you're in that doubt comes in period where you're like, you know, I've come this far and I have nothing, or I feel like I have nothing to show for it. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know how to keep going. But what's interesting, because your current energy is the elephant reversed. And when it's reversed, this says it misunderstands fate. Orpheus and Eurydice is kind of a story about fate. At least Hadestown, they sing it again and again and again. And maybe one day it'll come out differently. This experience is something fated for you. You're past the point of, I'm hearing no return, but that's not like, not in a bad way. You've come so far. You've put in all this work. You've done all that you could to align with what fate wanted to bring you. And yet you're still thinking, Who am I? I can't do this. And fate says, you already have done it. If you don't align with the fate message, maybe think of it as your higher self on the other side saying, we did it. We did it already. The spring is coming. You're in the dark right before you see the peak of light over the mountains, where everyone is celebrating you and where everyone is waiting. So that was a 10-minute visual that I have received anyway. If that does not resonate with you and you're a little confused, maybe try a different reading, because this seems like the people that this is for, they'll get it. And if it's not for them, it's going to be confusing. I have 2 cards for our who, what, when, where, whys, as far as what the frick is going on and the healing that needs to happen. We have Nutmeg and we have the King reversed. Where I was getting the message of there are voices or people not supporting you was in the King reversed. And I just want to read a little bit from the guidebook to let you know what this card means when it's reversed. A reversed king is one who knows how to address a situation, but is beleaguered by advisors who think they know better. It's time to put your foot down and embrace the fact that right now, your solution is the correct one. That is powerful, guys. It feels like you've had one or maybe a few, at least one for sure. You've had voices in your life telling you that you don't know what you're doing. Maybe not outwardly, but maybe they do it a little covertly. They say, oh, is that really what you think? Is that really what you should be spending your time on? Don't you think there's something else to focus your mind to? You're so talented. Why do you waste it doing this? You know, you hear these subtle messages which seem like they're coming with a I care about you attitude. And you know, maybe these people really do care, and they're saying these messages from a point of caring. Maybe they've had experiences where they chased a passion, where they stayed true to something they believed in, and it didn't work out. Maybe they gave up. And so these people don't want you to experience the pain they've experienced, so they think it's better to, for lack of a better term, poo-poo on your dreams. It's also, and you'll know if this is for you, you might be taking a risk here soon, or taking a big leap of faith. And you've been hearing all these messages, no, stick to the normal path, no, wait it out, no, don't do that right now. But I'm feeling this sensation of my body getting itchy, which is telling me, no, like, you can't keep doing things the way they've been. You're being called to take this leap of faith for a reason. And it's almost like you're so sure in your mind that you have to take this action that all these people who are saying, no, you're making a terrible mistake, you can't even hear it anymore. Or at least in the near future, those voices are going to start becoming more and more silent, because you feel so strongly in your body that you have to do something. You have to take an action. You have to put yourself out there. Other people's advice might not ring true for you at this time. Or it's like the people who want to give you advice, they haven't actually been in the situation you're in. So even their best advice really won't help you. Your intuition is going to be the guiding light coming forward. With Nutmeg, this is all about, it's kind of like Wheel of Fortune if I think of it. The keywords are justice, travel, and good fortune. I don't see this as like a court case or anything with that. If it is, take this as a good sign. Things could be going in your favor. But how I'm receiving this is the blessings that you've been waiting for, that finish line that we were seeing in the visual, that is on its way. And now I'm hearing Where the Hell Is My Husband by Ray. That's just, you know, and the music video, so clever how she does it. I love it. She's on this journey trying to find her husband, and it's like he keeps slipping through her fingers. And then she runs into this I think it's a guy or a sign or something, and it says, "You'll find your husband when you find yourself." And she remembered, like, a minute previous in the music video, there was a box that said her name on it. And from that moment, she remembered it. Like, it was returning to yourself. Finding yourself is the moment you find your husband, is basically how that was being presented. But symbolically, you're remembering your strength. You're remembering your power. You're remembering that you got yourself this far into the journey. You're tired, you're worn down, but you made it this far. You can go just a little bit longer because something is around the corner and it's happening quickly. This could happen by the full moon. We have the goat card, which we haven't even talked about, so we'll talk about that later, but there's a full moon above the goat. I don't know if I'll have this published today. I might actually post this today. We'll see how much time I have on my hands. But if I get this posted today, technically, if you're watching it the day or two after it's posted, that is still full moon energy in Leo. Let me see the next one after this full moon. Next full moon. Google. I would like a ring, I would like a ring, I would like a diamond ring on my wedding finger. I would like a big and shiny diamond that I could wave around and I could talk about it. Okay, March 3rd, and then April 1st, and then May 1st, and then May 31st. So check out those dates. Those dates could be important. There's something coming around the corner. It's blossoming. And I'm hearing it could be stemming from something in the fall, because this nutmeg card does kind of talk about pumpkin spice. So I think about the fall time. This could be results or money you're getting back from the fall that helps push you forward. If you traveled in the fall, that place could be significant. You could be traveling back, or a significant opportunity could be coming to you about that travel location. Whatever is happening, it's good. And it's happening because you're finding yourself again. And you're realizing that you have the last say in what your life becomes. And if you're unhappy with something, who cares what other people think? Who cares if other people would kill for what you have? Yes, be grateful, but also recognize it's okay to want more. It's okay to say, this is not for me, but I know what is, and to go after that with full force. You don't need permission from other people to go after what you believe in. Sometimes people won't believe something is possible until it's done. And maybe you have to be the one to do it and to prove to them. Okay, I do want to move on to our cards, because we're 20 minutes deep, y'all. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's talk about the goat. This goat card represents how you're helping yourself. So I was just reading the guidebook, and it's interesting. This talks about a journey through the mountains as well, and crossing the finish line and having what it takes to cross the finish line. But the key words for the goat is sure-footedness and confidence. Guys, you are finding that confidence. You are finding that voice inside that believes again. That doubt is becoming silenced. You are hearing Eurydice. This also talks about only needing to take small, consistent steps towards a goal. And when I think about a goat, I do think about Capricorn. Now, Capricorn is the goat fish / the goat mermaid, so it's not fully a goat. However, Capricorns are all about slow, consistent action, especially when it comes to any sort of career venture or passions. I'm thinking 10th house, and I have a Capricorn Mars in the 10th house, so I know this energy very well. The success you're looking for was never going to be an overnight journey, and I think you knew this starting out. I think you might have lost your sense of purpose for a second, but it's coming back to you very quickly. And there's something also finding confidence and looking back. Not turning back and going the wrong way, but looking back and actually assessing how far you've come. Because from this point, from up, excuse me, up until this point, you've been focused on the flame, on silencing the outside voices, on keeping your focus on what you care about and moving forward. You haven't actually had a chance to pause and look back objectively and see the terrain you crossed. And now I feel like getting emotional again. It's like you're taking a moment on the cliff's edge as a little goat. You got your flame. You can see the light of the finish line up ahead, but you want to savor this moment. Before your life changes, you take a second, you look back, and you see the great valleys and mountains and rivers. And you realize, I did that. I was on this journey alone. I did that. I looked back. Or no, I didn't look back. I walked forward. And I didn't even realize what I was doing. I didn't even realize what I was building. And you look back and now you see it. You paved a way. You paved a new way. Oh. You guys are going to be really, really, really proud of yourself coming up. Really proud. Wow. This energy is amazing, beautiful. The last card we're going to talk about is how Spirit is helping you, or which goddess is helping you, because I'm using the goddess oracle. And, pile 2 has Aphrodite as well. You guys have Aphrodite. So if you feel called to pile 2, I could see a little bit. I'm filming this kind of out of order. This is the third time I've filmed a pile 1 reading, but pile 2 and pile 3 have already been filmed. I just wasn't happy with the outcome of the first 2, so new cards, new reading. Anyway, you have Aphrodite. Her message to you guys is different than pile 1 or pile 2, but it's similar on track because it's the same goddess. But for you guys, there's something about your feminine energy. And listen, I'm not the first one to say it, but everyone has masculine, feminine energy. It's very fluid inside all of us. There is a wounding to your feminine energy. Whether it was a conscious wounding or just unconscious because it slowly dwindled throughout the years, it feels like this journey, you really had to put on a show with masculine energy. You were the king. You are the king. You are the goat. You had to prove yourself. You had to work hard. You couldn't care about, oh, do I look pretty, or oh, do I feel nice, or you couldn't even be soft and kind and sweet because maybe it was dangerous to be that. Maybe you were celebrated for all your masculine traits and shamed for your feminine. Maybe there's a wounding to your sexuality. Maybe the expression of your feminine side is difficult. Resting, reflecting, self-care, dancing, feeling the emotions. She is here to help you reach the end of this journey and then transform your relationship with your feminine side. And it might be a little bit of a 180, like your aesthetic might completely change. You might get a completely different haircut, or you start expressing yourself differently through creative makeup or different clothing options. This kind of feels like stereotypical feminine energy where you're really prioritizing or taking interest in the girly pop things and whatever that means to you. It's a lot about aesthetics and expression. This could also be a little bit about confidence, being unafraid to express all parts of yourself, acknowledging the feminine and masculine traits you hold. Yeah. Okay, so we are 30 minutes in. We are going to move on to tarot before I get in trouble. Let me just adjust these cards up here. Beautiful, beautiful reading. I'm so happy to be sharing this and to be able to let you know that the The light is coming. Your husband is coming. I think I haven't had like set questions for these. I've just been asking, how is your life improving? So we're going to see what comes out. How is pile one's life improving, Spirit? We have the Queen of Cups reversed. We have the Hangman reversed. We have the Devil, and the Knight of Wands reversed. How is your life improving? One more card, please, Spirit. And the Knight of Pentacles. 9, not Knight. Sorry. I would like a ring, I would like a ring, I would like a diamond ring on my wedding finger. I would like a big and shiny diamond that I could wave around. We're going to talk about it. You could let it down. I want to talk about shame and your relationship with shame, because it's very highlighted here. And we were kind of talking about earlier about the sacral chakra being blocked by shame and guilt. We can get the elephant, we can acknowledge the elephant in the room, which is no pun intended, even though it is intended because you are being represented by the elephant. Anyway, yeah, you've made mistakes in the past. Yeah, you've acted out of character. Yeah, you've fallen into temptation, whatever that means for you. You've been immature in the past, right? And I feel this but what if energy coming from you. And it's being shown in the cards. And this kind of feels like a breakthrough I recently had in therapy, and it's relevant. I'm not just going on a tangent about myself. It's because it's relevant to this. Anyway, I was in therapy, and my therapist finally just got so fed up with me saying, well, yeah, but because I was trying to I'm always trying to, I guess, low-key shame myself and not wanting to acknowledge both sides of the truth. And I think you've had that habit too, where you're like, okay, yeah, there are two sides to this story. Yes, maybe I was bullied into taking this action, or maybe I was defending myself and I took this action, or maybe I was going through significant ABUSE and I had no other way to act and I just lost my shit, right? But I always want to come in there and I always want to be like, but I still did the action. I still did the bad thing. And I don't give myself grace. And I think this is what I'm seeing here. You guys want to acknowledge all the terrible, not even terrible, just all the mistakes you've made in the past without seeing both sides. And I think we're seeing that with the Hanged Man reversed. You're coming out of this reflection period. You're coming out of, what's the word? When you're stewing over something over and over and over, ruminating. You're done ruminating. If at least you're not done ruminating, you've come to an acceptance. You've come to a even middle ground where you can say, I made a mistake and I was going through terrible, terrible things and I had no choice really. I didn't know how to act better. I didn't know what other options were available. I was doing the best I could. You can take accountability for mistakes and still move forward with grace and humility for yourself. And there's two versions, or I guess two big blockages of shame for you. It's emotional reactions you've had. I'm also hearing maybe it's you let emotions get the better of you. So this could be even positive emotions, like you let yourself have too much fun that you became irresponsible, or you became so in love with someone that you made up excuses for their bad behavior, It doesn't always have to be, oh, we had a terrible outburst or we did something. I'm acknowledging both. So there's the emotional aspect that you have shame for, how you used or felt your emotions. Maybe you even have caught yourself being a little emotional manipulative in the past, and I want to say this is all in the past because this is not current energy. You've seen the light about something. You've understood the truth. You have grown. I'm not saying this to shame or further add things on your plate. I'm saying this to acknowledge what you've acknowledged and how you've grown. So there's the emotional aspect. And then we have a message about sexuality here. A sexual shame. I don't want to trigger people who have gone through traumatic situations. So if you've gone through a traumatic situation surrounding that realm of things, I am so sorry. We will not talk about that. I just do want to acknowledge that could be a contributing factor to what's going on here. No matter what led to this shame, there is a shame around sexuality, sexual expression, feeling sexy, feeling confident in how your body looks, and the expression and experience of pleasure. And I feel called, even though we have a card off to the side, it's the 9 of Pentacles. I have a different message for that, but I just want to pull one. Okay, yeah. We have the Knight of Cups, and I love to see this. I think you've shamed yourself around pleasure and sexuality because either you were shamed yourself by someone or other situations might have happened, and you felt like you've had to lock that part of you away to protect you, maybe even to protect others, depending on the type of shame you carry. I have 2 different messages around this situation. The first one is you are finding a way to break through this trauma in a compassionate way that is incredibly healing. There could be a professional that is helping you work through this trauma, but it is leading you to a compassionate ending of that cycle where you're able to be proud to be a sexual being, because we all are sexual. Well, not all of us, there can be people who are aromantic and all that, but as someone, which I think this pile is, as someone who is interested in the sexual relations of things, you'll find your pleasure again, and you'll be able to lovingly heal that part of you and to be proud. For others of you, and maybe this can go hand in hand, you could take both. There could be someone coming in that you'll be dating soon. And I do have a love reading I'm working on right now. So that will be posted, I'm hoping, after this one. So you could always check that one out. Shameless promo. What? But I do think there is a gentleman coming in who is wanting to show you a new side or a new way that things could be, a new way that pleasure could be felt. And it does feel like this person has no issue taking time, taking things slow. They have a big old heart. They have lots of compassion. This person is going to be very healing for you in this situation. So look out for that. Anyway, how life is getting better. Not only are you standing in your independence allows you to be consistent for those around you. And not consistent in the way of like you have to do things in order to gain love, attention, and approval. It's consistent in a way that maybe you haven't felt you've been able to do it before. It's consistent in a way where people can truly get to know you. It's grounded energy. This woman is out in a what looks like a wine garden, tending to the fields. You're coming out of this valley with your fire. Now I'm seeing another visual to go along with the original. So you come out of the valley, you're greeted at the finish line, all this stuff, and then you take this flame that you've been holding and you light the torches around the town, right? This flame that you had was supposed to mean something for a community. And then you live your days in this community or with this community, sharing the love, being a wise person that someone can come to. I am running out of juice. So, I think I'll leave this here. Thank you so much, Pile 1, for being here. I'm really glad, now that I did this reading, I'm actually really glad that I started it over so many times and did so many different readings, because I felt good in this one. So thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this reading, feel free to give it a like. Feel free to subscribe here at Tarot Moods for more readings like so in the future. But I'm gonna miss ya. Have a good day, guys. Bye. Hello, Pile 2. Thanks so much for being here today with me for this tarot reading all about the healing that is happening now and how things are getting freaking better in your freaking life. Frick. There, I said it. I said my piece. First, I want to do a check-in because I feel like this group, well, I guess the reading's already going to start because I am saying this. Y'all have not been taking care of yourself, like actually genuinely loving yourself, guys. And that's not your fault, because I do see there's been some fucking chaos in your life, to say the absolute least. Whether this chaos is a physical person or a situation that has just been wreaking havoc, like a terrible job, or like a terrible partner, whatever it is, I can see you're stressed, you're depleted, you don't even have the energy to take care of yourself. So it's not your fault. Like, I'm not here to blame you and tell you, well, no reason, the reason you're not doing better is because you haven't been taking care of, blah, of course, duh, we know that. But, anyway, that was a lot. But your homework, before we even start this reading, I want you to get a water bottle and fill it with water. If you hate the taste of water, use either like a lemon or fruit, put something in there. Like right now I have water with the liquid IV because mama been drinking and partying with friends and she's dehydrated, so that's why I have that. I need you to get water and I need you to get a snack. Even I have a snack. I have a box of croissants next to me, and I also have some popcorn chicken because I just got back from the store. And I want you to take at least 2 big gulps of water and 2 big bites of your snack just before we start this reading. So you need to pause this reading, go do your homework, then sit back down and listen. And if you're in a space where you can't do that, the second you have the ability to, I need you to do that. That is your homework. Your physical body right now is very detached from your mental body. And I feel like there's a reason for that, because we spoke about this chaos, but there's a disconnect happening. Your physical body is the one feeling the pressure right now, right? Your mental body is trying to distract yourself. Your mental body is trying to keep you alive. Your mental body is trying to focus on what needs to get done right now. And that's causing a toll on your physical body because of the disconnect. I think it's very important when we're doing like self-care practices or self-love practices, it's not just about the outer shell, it's not just about speaking positive thoughts. Like, those are absolutely crucial parts, but also the absolutely crucial part that I think on the internet we kind of dismiss it, or put it at a lower necessity, when I think it's actually more important than we focus on, is the physical body. Exercise, guys. Eating 3 meals a day, maybe having some snacks in between. Healthy, balanced food. Drinking actual water, guys. Like, everybody says it, but we are made up of, like, what is it, 80% of water? We need water, guys. I know sometimes water doesn't taste well, and we can blame the systems, we can blame our countries, we can blame all of this, absolutely. And it is a challenge to have clean water, and I'm totally addressing that. Sometimes it doesn't taste good, but for the sake of this video and hopefully trying to help you help yourself, we need water. We need water, guys. And why that's coming to me so strongly, like this focus on actual physical care and subtracting the need to do the other things right now, your current energy is the frog upside down. And this card, the frog, talks a lot about, well, yes, the frog is an earth animal, technically. It was born from water, and it needs water to thrive. It's always near water, right? And with the frog being reversed, that is showing me that there is a blockage. And whenever I was looking at what makes the frog out of balance, it's depleted and running on empty. And that right there is just a clear indicator we are not prioritizing the actual physical care of our body because we are so overwhelmed. There's a need to kind of return to basics here. So if you are feeling that block super, super duper heavy, the very first step is going to be consistent sleep, whatever you need to do to actually rest your body. It's going to be hydrating yourself, and it's going to be feeding yourself. Those are your necessities right now. Those are your very basics you need to return to. We need to take a moment to pause so we can replenish our body so it can actually help us move out of this stagnant energy, because you're kind of running in circles right now because of that disconnect. Anyway, so I'm gonna take a sip, I'm gonna eat one of my popcorn chicken, and then we're gonna continue. So your who, what, when, where, whys are pretty, I'm receiving the message very clearly. You guys are the type of people that are very loyal, right? You don't take commitment lightly. You don't take, whether that be like a relationship, a job, you really like to push yourself to see things through, to be there for the good and the bad, because I think you are very in tune with the cycles of life, and just knowing that sometimes to get to the good part, you have to push through some muck, right? In order to grow a seed, you have to till the land. Is it till? I don't know. I'm not a farmer. My family are farmers, but I unfortunately am a city girl, so that could be wrong. But I think sometimes where you may do more harm to yourself than good is when you decide to stay loyal to something that has nothing else to give you. You're not learning anything from it anymore. You're just there for the simple fact of loyalty, right? And I do think you found yourself in a position where a person, a place, a thing, a habit, whatever it is not serving you anymore. It really has nothing to offer you. It may be causing more strife in your life. It's the thing that's causing chaos. And it's time to let it go, because that is the major thing that is depleting you right now. Dealing with this energy over and over, day in, day out, it's depleting your body, your mind, your soul. Maybe you feel as though you are chained to this thing, like there is no way out. And of course, you know your situation the best. This is, of course, a general message. But I think you're being encouraged to think of other things, of ways to get out of this situation, and then to take action on it no matter how scared you are. You're being encouraged to be brave right now and to do this from an act of self-love. Try to reframe your brain whenever you're releasing things that no longer serve you, instead of looking at it as like, oh, I'm such a disappointment, I'm quitting, or I'm doing this, I'm leaving people out to dry, or like feeling bad for the situation or place or whatever. Instead of that, reframe it to, this is how I can make myself better. This is how I can make myself feel better. This is an opportunity that will lead me closer to my goals. Versus this other opportunity has already done what it can to help me. I need to open up a space for another person who may be able to benefit from this situation, right? And that's not me saying that. Actually, I'm going to stop myself because I think I'm over explaining there. I'm going to move on. An example I'm thinking of is someone who gets a job. They don't really like it, but they tell themselves, you don't have a great track record of keeping jobs. Every job you seem to get, you just don't like. So why don't you try to actually stay here and like do the work? And so you boxed yourself in. You said, there is no other option. I'm going to make this work because I'm trying to prove something to myself. So you did that, right? And now maybe 3 years later, you're still in that same box. And your heart, your mind, your soul is like, okay, we did that. We learned the lesson. But we don't need to stay here. Like, there's all these other options. Like, we could explore this. This is something we need to learn. This, blah, blah, blah. But you're still thinking in that box mentality. And maybe it's because you struggle with, what's the word? Reaffirming to yourself that you did something. You beat yourself up really strongly. So maybe if we go back to the job example, even though, yes, you did learn the lesson because you've stayed at this job for 3 years, you go home and you're telling yourself, no, I can't apply to other jobs. You tell yourself, no, I can't quit. I can't leave my box because that would mean I'm quitting. And that proves that I am not settled in a job yet. The fact that I even want to quit just shows that I have not learned this lesson. And it's like, okay, but that's not true. Like, maybe like you made a mistake in the past and you learned the lesson. You did the work, you learned the lesson, but you're still restricting yourself. I think this is a good time to say that no one can label something as a moral failing if you don't accept that as truth, right? Everyone has all these different views of the world. None of us are the same. None of us are going to agree 110%. Otherwise, we would have already achieved world peace, right? We are all meant to be different and to see things differently. And I think you're trying to fight against the structures of what maybe you were taught was a moral failing or was right and wrong versus what you actually think is right and wrong. Like you're struggling with that compass because sometimes you're able to act in a way that's authentic to yourself, that feels aligned with what and who you are, and then other times you feel restricted because you're still living through past patterns or past structures that have been put on you. I know for a fact you're gonna break out of this, right? It's just complex. And there's a lot of feelings, there's a lot of unknowns, there's a lot of doubts, but I know for a fact you can get through it. I want to talk about how you're helping yourself and how a goddess is helping you. And you guys got Aphrodite. So I used to work with and worship Aphrodite very closely. So I love that she's making this appearance. Hey girl, hey. Baddie see, baddie do. Something Aphrodite is helping you learn and helping you process. You don't have to experience, reach a certain level. Like, you don't have to do anything or be anything to love yourself and to put yourself first. You don't have to keep showing up to spaces or to keep partnerships with people that you simply just don't like, just for the sake of loyalty or for the sake of like time or whatever it is. Maybe it's even fear, like, is there something out there for me? There is constantly abundance floating around waiting for you to grab it. You also don't need to have approval from people to like or love yourself or to make decisions that align with the life that you want. We're deconstructing what other people want for us, and we're restructuring our mind in a way to think, what do I want? What does my body want? And I think something that Aphrodite is just very good at lovingly reminding us is that every single one of us is beautiful. Every single one of us is unique. And, the trends of the day change every single day. All of us have been the it girl or considered the it girl or guy or whatever. We've all been considered it throughout all of history. All of us. No matter what you look like, no matter who you think you are, what your ideas are about you, we genuinely are beautiful. All of us. She's good at reminding people of that. And she's also good at reminding people, this is your chance to live in a body. You get one body, like at least with this brain, right? In these circumstances, you get this body. Don't you want to take care of this body? Don't you want to see this body exist for as long as it can? And of course, I understand mental health struggles, abso-freaking-lutely. And of course, there are so many limitations that can happen to our physical body. But I think I'm speaking to a group of people who could be taking better care of their body. And that's why she's coming through of like, no matter what ailments, no matter what illnesses, no matter what you're insecure about, this is your body. It's not going anywhere. It's not changing. This is your face. Even if you got plastic surgery, it's still gonna freaking look like the same version of you practically with minute changes. Take care of it. Love it. Quit fighting against it. Aphrodite is here to show you how beautiful you truly are and what it means to genuinely love yourself, which does include, unfortunately to some, taking care of your body. And whenever I say like exercise or eating healthy, this doesn't mean an extreme. Something I've been practicing is just 80-20. Did I eat 80% vegetables and then maybe I had 20% like sweets and guilty pleasure foods? Yeah, but I'm fine. Like that's how it should be. And exercise, that doesn't mean every single day you have to go to the gym, every single day you have to lock in, bro. No, it just means like, okay, one day you're feeling a walk. Another day, maybe you join a community volleyball club that plays once every Saturday. Like, moving, not maybe instead of saying exercise, moving your body in a way that benefits it. That could be dance, that could be gymnastics. I mean, I'm over-explaining at this point, but that's just what I'm saying. I want to move on. How you're helping yourself. We have the green man. And speaking of green, I did want to mention this. Basically, all of your cards are two colors. We have green and we have orange. And if I think of that in chakras, we have the heart chakra and we have the solar plexus. So you might want to look into those, see if something resonates, or maybe I'm hearing like there can be somatic, I think that's the word, somatic practices that can help release blockages in certain chakras. So maybe look up what somatic practice helps me release blockages in the heart chakra, or vice versa with the solar plexus, or sacral. So yeah, just wanted to note that. Anyway, how you're helping yourself. I'm hearing genuinely like one foot in front of the other, not the song by Fun, but just the saying. Simply by you putting one foot in front of the other is leading you to an abundant life. I think whether you realize it or not, there is going to be some sort of like lucky stroke happening here soon. Strike? Did I say strike? I don't know what it. Anyway, I have Saturn in the 3rd house. I can't talk. You need to know that whether you realize it or not, you're going to take the actions you need to get out of this energy. And I think this whole situation after it's over is going to be kind of, I mean, there's going to be other lessons along with it, but one of the lessons I'm hearing is trusting yourself, trusting that even when you have no idea what the frick is going on or whether you are good enough or capable enough, trusting yourself. That's sometimes the most natural thing that the body does, like take over and just exist. That's all you need to do to be led to a better life or a greener pasture. Because there is a greener pasture out there. There really is. And I think it's coming very soon. And it's going to come because you're already taking the actions you need to get there. It's going to be a big sigh of relief when you get to the other side, because then you'll be able to pause and really see all the work that past you put in. All the steps that you took that you weren't even sure would lead anywhere, it's leading you somewhere. And it's going to feel so rewarding. And you're going to be happier. You're going to have more money, more happiness, more actual genuine rest. You won't be bogged down by so many responsibilities. And you're going to be feeling a lot more energetic because your body is being nourished. You're going to be more productive too. Okay, so that's all I have for the oracles. I do want to go into the tarot. I'll have decks listed down below. Today I'm using the Pulp Tarot. Really liking this deck. And the last group, I just pulled 5 random cards and we'll just see what comes out. This is kind of like closing messages. I'm doing things a little differently here, so don't judge me. Weep. Meep, meep. Ugh. Have y'all seen that Phineas and Ferb episode where it has Meep, like the alien stuffed animal looking thing? Is it Meep? Oh, it's gotta be Meep. If you know, you know. I love him, her, they, it. I think it's a he, actually. Actually, I don't freaking know what gender this intergalactic Muppet is, but... Okie dokie. For pile 2, please, Spirit. Pile 2. How are things getting better for pile 2? We have the Chariot reversed. We have Page of Wands reversed. How are things getting better for pile 2? Okay, we have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. We have the Emperor upright. One more, please, Spirit. And the Four of Swords. Four of Swords reversed. Yes, okay. Okie dokie. Let me sit with this. Let me drink some water. I do want to say, based on these cards, I think things are going to feel a lot more chaotic before they turn peaceful. And that's not always the message you want to hear. But I'm going to be honest. I don't think... I think it's kind of going to be like a bubble where, you know, when you're blowing a bubble and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and any second it's going to pop. That's kind of the energy I'm feeling right now. It's going to get overwhelming. I'm hearing like it could, actually, no. I was going to say, of course, you have free will and you could just leave this situation. Maybe you will. Maybe some of you will, some of you won't. I think for those of you who are kind of stuck in that fear, that bubble is going to keep expanding to where you have no choice but to burst the bubble and leave this situation and expand onto new horizons. And that's going to be a lesson in and of itself. So don't panic when that happens or if that happens. For those of you who are like, you're listening to this reading, you know exactly what the heck I'm talking about, and you're like, you're right. I just needed a verbal confirmation that I needed to leave this. For some of you, if you're letting go of this, you might feel a little directionless. You might not know exactly what's around the corner. I've been there before. You might even have like a little time period where you're stressed because it seems like nothing's pulling through, but I promise you something is going to pull through at the last minute. If you resonate with that, you won't be left out for long. I think actually if that does happen and you have like a 2 to 3 week period where you're like, ugh, I have no clue what I'm doing, I'm kind of panicking right now, after you leave that situation, that moment in time is simply for you to rest, recharge, and reflect about the last cycle so that you're ready to take charge and stand firm once this new energy comes in. It's all just a part of the cycle. It's not good, it's not bad, it just is, okay? You're just experiencing it. For some of you, and this isn't like to scare you. I do want to say that. These readings are never to scare you. And if you feel scared, that's your intuition telling you maybe that message isn't for you. So keep that in mind when I say this. Some of you, if you wait until the bubble bursts like itself, you might leave this situation kind of on fire, kind of like a burnt bridge scenario. And it could be the other situation, like the other dynamic in this situation that burns the bridge with you. Or maybe it's you, whatever it is. I just don't think it's going to be the prettiest for some of you if you wait for the bubble to burst, because I think emotions might be very highly charged at that moment, and who knows, there's a lot going on astrologically. Pluto is fucking us all up right now. So some unexpected things can definitely happen, so just be prepared, just keep yourself on your toes and know that you have what it takes. I do want to say, once this transition is over, once this experience is over and you're able to reflect and move on, you're showing as the Emperor, Four of Swords reversed. I'm taking that as you don't desire the rest anymore because you are fully rested, fully healed, fully recharged. You're ready to charge forward into whatever that means for you. And I do think, because we have Aphrodite here, Aphrodite was talking a lot about like feminine energy, right? And this doesn't matter gender, right? But Aphrodite was kind of talking about stepping into our feminine energy. This Emperor is the masculine. So it's kind of learning that balance of, okay, when I need rest, recharge, relaxation, that's that feminine energy. And I can't do my masculine energy, which is the pushing forward, let's go, let's conquer, let's get this done, let's take action. We can't take action if we don't also rest. And we can't also have adequate rest if we haven't taken action on things and haven't made ourselves tired. So you're learning that balance, and you're starting to master that balance after this scenario is over. Anyway, I've been yapping for 45 minutes. I'm going to leave this here. Thank you so much for being here with me today for this reading, Pile 2. I love you bunches. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day. As always, you could give me a like if you like this video. You could subscribe here at Tarot Moods for more readings like so in the future. And you could also leave a comment if you feel so called to let me know what the frick is going on, or to just rant and get it off your chest. By all means, do so. I'm here for you. The comments are here for you. The community is here for you. Anyway, love you bunches. Mwah. Bye. Hello, Pile 3. Thanks so much for being here with me today for this reading all about the healing happening now and how things are getting better in your life, because things are going to get better for you, I promise. You wouldn't be here if they weren't getting better for you, so I promise. Okay. Before I start, for you guys specifically, I want us to do a couple deep breaths together, okay? So, if you can, let's just take a deep breath. So hold it, hold it, hold it, and out. And in. Hold it. And out. Cricket was helping give directions there if you heard her. Great, I'm so glad we did that together. The reason I wanted to do that with you guys specifically. This pile, let's just talk about it. Your energy your current energy right now is heavily influencing the actions you take in your life. And I'm a little concerned because your current energy is the rabbit. And the story that kind of goes along with the rabbit is the rabbit is scared and nervous of a lot of things. They're very full of fear. And they tell their friends constantly, the little rabbit friends, that one day a hawk is going to come down and swoop them up and eat them and kill them, right? And they're so scared of this happening. And so they're warning their friends because they just don't want this bad thing to happen. However, the hawk didn't even have the idea to hunt and kill the rabbits until the rabbit mentioned it. Do I think you're being hunted and killed? No. However, I think you experience a lot of anxiety, and the anxiety causes you to act or to take action that is actually preventing you from A, experiencing life fully, B, reaching the goals that you want, and C, having real, true emotional connection. And might as well mention that the anxiety is keeping you from feeling good about life and yourself. For our who, what, when, where, whys, as far as what's going on, we have oolong tea and we have the assassin reversed. And it's interesting because the story that goes along with the rabbit, blah. But anyway, the assassin reversed gives me the indication that that the anxiety has given you this urge or this instinct to protect yourself, but that protection has been feeding the anxiety in a way. Right now, it seems your coping strategy is to listen to the anxiety, to do whatever makes the anxiety go away, which may mean isolating yourself, which may mean not going after scary things that might be beneficial for your growth. It might be keeping yourself small, fear of the unknown, versus what actually would help is facing the anxiety and not feeding it. Taking action versus staying still. You guys are very smart, very emotionally intelligent. And when you have a goal, I think you can actually accomplish it a lot faster than anyone else. I think you guys are very capable manifestors, and I would be willing to bet that you guys are manifesting generators, when it comes to your matrix chart of destiny, which I don't know much about, but I'm a manifesting generator, so I kind of know a little bit, and you guys feel like you can manifest a lot like me, so look into that. However, all the what ifs is what holds you back. Your mental energy kind of takes over your body, and that's what is blocking you the most here. Maybe, because I do feel a bit of a solemn energy here, maybe you lost out on the chance for something, or you're witnessing someone soon receive either recognition or an award or a spot that you really wanted, but it feels like you either dropped out of the race or you overthought things. You got in your head about a situation and it made you back down from this competition and not competition in like a literal sense. I'm just kind of speaking. It feels like you're being faced with a mirror, and that mirror is someone who is very similar to you, minus the anxiety, minus the fear. You're seeing them succeed. And it's not necessarily causing jealousy. It's causing this feeling of self-reckoning, where you're like, I really need to get a grip on this because that could have been me. I could have done that. And I think this is very, very powerful energy, because it's a turning point. It's a tipping point. You're seeing so clearly where your brain has held you back from reaching your full potential. You're realizing where fear keeps you small. Your anxiety lies to you. And I think you've tried to make peace with it. Like, you've tried to keep it in your life. It's a comfort source for you. You feel like you need it. But you're reckoning with the fact that in order to actually make progress, in order to reach the next level that you want to reach, you have to let go of that part of yourself, or you have to learn how to manage it better. Maeve is here. She is here to help you. And how she's helping you is showing you that you can be scared, you can be anxious, and still take action. We aren't going to feel brave or ready all of the time. There's always going to be something bad that could happen, right? We can't always protect ourselves from anything bad happening. There are going to be times where we fall flat on our face, and there are going to be times where we win and succeed. But if we stay in a cycle of fear, we're only going to reap the results of a life lived through the lens of fear, which is pretty small and fractured, if you ask me. Maeve wants to show you that while you might live with this anxiety for a long time, maybe it's a part of you, maybe those thought patterns will be here for years to come, the fear inside of your actual body won't last. And it dissipates through taking action and seeing what happens on the other side. I think part of your homework here is saying yes and trying new things that put you purposely outside of your comfort zone, just to see what happens. Doing things that seem unfamiliar to you. And it's ironic because we have the primal card for how you're helping yourself. Through taking action, pushing past the fear, is where you find your true instincts. This card also talks about living life for others instead of ourselves and kind of losing the path, where you're going to be examining where you are living life for others and what that means to you and what it would look like if you did things for you. The act of inspiration over jealousy. that's coming through strongly. Instead of feeling pain or jealousy whenever you're seeing others do something that scares you or that you wish you could do, instead of feeling those feelings, you're flipping it and you're saying, you know what? They did it. That means I can do it. I'm going to do that. I'm going to try this. I'm just going to see how this goes. And if you're worried about how others will, how do I even say this? I can easily feel you guys, seeing someone dress in a certain way, and you're like, you know what? In this new energy, I want to try that. And so maybe you go buy a different outfit. You're like, ooh, I really like this. I'm feeling myself, blah, blah, blah. And then it comes to the day where you have to wear it. And then you're like, oh my God, they're going to know I'm copying them. Oh my God, what are they going to think? I could see you falling into that energy, and something Spirit wants you to know. Copying or emulating is the highest form of flattery. Emotionally mature people and also people who are secure in themselves are not gonna care that you saw an outfit that they liked and you did it. If anything, they're gonna be like, I see you, queen. I see you. Okay. We can be twinsies now. The people who are in their ego and who feel, some of them could feel superior, or some of them could feel deep down like they're inferior, so they have to be different. Those people are the ones that would have an issue with it. And honestly, the majority of the time, people are going to be the type of person that celebrates you and are flattered when you emulate something they reflected out into the universe, when they see you taking inspiration. You've had a lot of negative experiences with people receiving the authentic you. And that does not help with the anxiety. You've been told you're either too much, or you've been told something wasn't cool, whatever it is. People have not been kind to you expressing who you are. And that's led to you kind of trapping everything inside. But this new you breaking out, how you're helping yourself, it's unapologetic. It's giving yourself the permission to be yourself. And to maybe you are scared of what other people think, but to be brave enough to just do it. Because I think you're focused on quieting outside voices and finding the real voice inside of you. I see you working through this energy very well and finding a rhythm that works for you. I'm kind of hitting a dead end, so I'm going to go to the final messages with tarot. Spirit guides for pile 3. Last final messages. We have the Hierophant upright. Love to see it. We have the Empress upright. 3 more cards, please, Spirit. For pile 3, we have the Magician, Holy Major Arcana. Lots of powerful changes happening for you. We have the Tower reversed. Again, Major Arcana. One last one, please, Spirit. Thank you. And we have the 8 of Cups. All right, that makes sense. Something you guys need to know is you have everything you need to succeed. You're not missing anything. You're not broken. You're not in need of anything specific right now. And maybe that's frustrating because you're like, actually, I could really use subscription to ClassPass. Like, I could really use a sugar daddy to pay for my ClassPass so I can like actually focus on working out and going to classes that I really like. But like, at the end of the day, you guys need to know you're a lot more fortunate than maybe you give yourself credit for. And it's easy to do that, especially when we're living day to day. It's easy to forget how actually blessed we are. And that's not me saying you guys are ungrateful. I'm just saying we're all human, and I get it. We always want what we don't have. And Spirit's just gently saying, this healing and this change can happen without needing to buy anything, without needing a teacher, without needing to expend resources that you don't really have. And I think a lot of self-care here is going to be reminding yourself to think a little bit more logically. Of course, this doesn't mean like you're removing your emotions and removing your humanity from all of your actions. Absolutely not. But I think you are trying to live more from the noggin versus the feelings in your body for right now, because I think you need to find a state of balance, and you need to relearn what sensations your body, like, you need to relearn what the sensations in your body mean. I think you've lived with these fears for so long that it's really attacked your nervous system. So your feelings aren't a good indicator right now of what's actually going on. And that's where your logical body is going to be really helpful here as a great form of self-care. There's also, you're going to be, whether you know it or not, whether it's happening now or in the future, you're leaving a situation before it has a chance to destroy you. And you'll know best what is happening here. This could be something like an emotional addiction or something you have a deep emotional attachment to. You're kind of cutting your losses here, and you're saying, I don't want to wait until this blows up in my face, so I'm making the decision to leave, even though I don't want to leave. And I think you're being told this is the most emotionally mature thing you can do and the most logical thing you can do, because holding on to this would only add to your anxiety further and add to all these emotional issues you're having. The healing happening now is finding yourself again, taking care of yourself truly, and setting yourself back on a path that feels good to you. Another thing I'm hearing is like, sometimes you don't have to push through or morph yourself into something in order to make something work. Sometimes the simple fact of, I don't vibe with this isn't a good fit, is enough to be done. You don't have to bend to every which way and try so hard to make something work. You really don't. I'm kind of hitting a dead end here, but I see you working through this energy, feeling a lot more confident, feeling a lot more ready to take charge of your life. I hope you had a good reading. I hope this resonated for you. If it did, feel free to give me a like. You could also leave me a comment. You could also subscribe here at Tarot Moons for more readings like so in the future. This is all I'm getting. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not going to push it. I think I've said what needs to be said. You get the message. Love you bunches. Mwah. Goodbye.